Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me once a week. I'm obsessed with constant and never ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe now so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode number 6 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. Okay, we're on week number 2 of true quarantine during the coronavirus situation. And the amount of love and support that I've seen circling the world, just online or even just walking through my own neighborhood, has made me kind of cry on a few occasions, and I'm not a big crier. How about you guys? Have you seen that it seems like people are more friendly, quicker to wave hello, more generous, supportive, even pulling together as communities? Just this morning, my sister just sent me this video, and it was so adorable. Her neighborhood had put a parade together where families decorated their car and they just drove around the neighborhood honking and waving, and people that were inside their homes quarantined just stood out on their porches and waved, and it was so much fun. It literally made me cry because it warmed my heart so much. I hope you're seeing that in your life too, because it really makes me feel connected to everyone, and it gives me a sense of hope that we are going to be okay and that we're going to come out of this on the other end even better, which I know that that's going to happen anyway. But I'm also seeing and hearing from people a lot of what ifs, and that they're anxious and fearful of what if this happens or what if that happens. I mean, we all do it, and it's normal to have thoughts that, cause some level of fear, but we have to remember that that's just it. It's our thoughts that are creating this fear and anxiety. I'm going to tell you a quick story, and this is all 100% true. It's weird, but it's true. When I was a little girl, I used to worry a lot about someone taking me away from my parents. I probably feared this more than anything as a little girl. Sometimes it kept me up at night. I was just so scared of it. But that never happened. I was never kidnapped, and I spent a pretty big deal of my nights worried about that. As I turned into a teenager, and it was about the time that the AIDS virus was becoming a big problem in the world, I worried all the time that I would get the AIDS virus or that I had AIDS. And so that we're all clear here, I wasn't even doing anything where I could get that virus, right? So that didn't stop me from worrying about it, though. Now, that didn't happen either. I never got AIDS. And as I moved into adulthood as an entrepreneur, I worried about other things. I mean, I've worried about being sued. I worried about having to go bankrupt because a big project didn't finish on time or didn't go correctly. I also worried that people wouldn't like the design I did for them. None of that ever happened either. So I know you know where this is headed. I want you to think about in your past how many times you feared something that never happened, but it kept you up at night. How many of those fears never came to fruition? My guess is most of them never came to fruition. I want you also now to think about the fears that you have right now and recognize that statistically, 80 to 90% of those fears will never happen. So you have to recognize that you're in control of your thoughts. And you control your thoughts by what you focus on, your input, and your conversations with yourself and others. A good friend of mine sent me today this video, and I loved it so much. It was a video about how fear is really just a movie that we're playing over and over in our mind, because the thing you fear, it doesn't even exist. You're creating it. So, it's not even a real thing. If it were real, you would be dealing with it. So our mind wants to create a movie in our head. I say we stop creating horror films and start creating comedies or adventures or love stories, and realize that you control everything you think about, and it starts with the input you allow daily. So we have to be careful of what news we allow in, but we also have to be careful of people that put unnecessary fear in our minds. Lean into the people right now that are going to be good for your thoughts. That doesn't mean you don't give love and support to the other people, but maybe just don't give into the conversations with them about things that we know are not going to serve us and they're not going to serve them. So, in summary, studies show that 90%, 85 to 90% of our fears never come to fruition. That's just an average. I mean, for some people in that same study, 100% of their fears didn't happen. So, my question to you today is, do you want to be paralyzed by thoughts that more than likely aren't going to come true? Or do you want to take this opportunity to live in the moment and show up for yourself and be an example of what's possible to everyone around you? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please jump over to Instagram, follow me at the Heidi Dawson, and then also my website, HeidiDawson.com, is up and running, and I've got some pretty fun stuff on there for you too. I've got a free PDF and instructional video on how to choose the 3 words that could change your life. All right, guys, have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you on Friday.